Frank, look at all these bills piling up. What are we going to do?
We can make the kids get jobs. They should be working by now anyway.
They aren't teenagers yet.
Does that really make a difference? I remember...
Frank, don't start with that again. We all know you started working before you could walk, and you walked to school in 3 feet of snow. The list goes on. What you need to do is go see your friend Jim, the financial planner.
If it'll keep you from nagging all day, sure, I will.
Hi, Frank. What brings you in today?
Well, Jim, the wife and I need some help with financial planning. Do you think you can help?
Sure I can. So, what's the problem?
It's money. I can remember what it looked like when I was single, but now, not so much.
A nickel isn't worth a dime anymore.
That's the truth. So what can you do to help?
Well, the first thing you need to do is make your finances count. It's all a matter of willpower and determining what you can achieve.
So it's like my wife's diet. She has all the willpower in the world, but still, that doesn't mean she's going to achieve greatness. I try to tell her she doesn't need it, and I get a plate thrown at my head. What's that all about?
Maybe you should ask her to start throwing stacks of $100 bills at you.
Hey, I didn't marry Kim Kardashian, although that is a thought.
Don't let your wife hear you say that. You two must focus on making your lives better. Is financial planning supposed to make you wealthy, financially secure, or just improve your way of life?
Well, all three if possible.
It is possible. Hard, but possible. It's a good thing you're married, too.
Why's that?
To be honest, the way taxes are these days, you might as well marry for love. Income tax returns are the most imaginative fiction being written today.
Yeah, my returns have been terrible the past few years.
Everyone goes through some rough patches. How's your salary looking these days?
Salary? What's that? Oh, you mean that little bit of money I get every couple of weeks? No one has money to spend.
I agree. President Hoover said it best. Blessed are the young, for they shall inherit the national debt.
If only he could see the national debt now. I agree with you. I told my shrink that I was going to commit suicide, and he told me that I'd have to start paying in advance. What's that all about?
Really? My father always taught me that the best way to double my money was to fold it up before putting it in my pocket.
I'll have to remember that one. Money's tight everywhere, especially with the economy being the way it is.
I agree. Have you ever heard of cash flow concepts?
Not really. I mean, I know what cash flow is.
Well, think of positive cash flow as selling assets, getting an inheritance, winning the lottery, and getting a loan. Oh, and getting a paycheck.
The world must have realized that as long as people will accept crappy loans, it will be financially profitable to dispense them.
I've been there. I think people need to sit down and just choose which loan suits them the best.
True. You know that many people's problems come from negative cash flow and not positive?
Of course, it's always the negative. I saw my neighbor last week, and she is so poor. When I saw her kicking a can down the street, I asked her what she was doing, and she said moving.
That's rough.
But it's true. For instance, it's hard to understand how cemeteries raise burial costs and blame it on the high cost of living. Now, how is that possible?
You got me. Monthly expenditures like housing, bills, food, and loans are what set people back the most. They find themselves in a hole, and they don't know how to get out of it.
I agree with you 110%. A lot of people pay out more money than they make. Well, we'll try to improve that. But first, we need to set some goals for you, like your children's college education and possibly your retirement.
I believe that parents must encourage children to become educated so they can get into a good college that we can't afford.
You are exactly right, but that's life. There are always ways to save, though. I'll gather up some literature for you after we're done.
Great, I appreciate it. My retirement is in about 20 years, but I don't know if I'll be ready for it.
How so?
Well, we're not ready financially, and this whole deal with the economy and government deficit has us worried.
I'm not worried about the deficit. It's big enough to take care of itself.
Oh, was that supposed to be funny? LOL.
Let's get you and Kim in here, and we could talk a little more about setting up a long-term plan for college and retirement.